All right. Finished the three body problem for the second time. I loved it. Um, finished chapter 13. Good to be back. Also, it's so much that's going on in this book as well as in this in the whole series. In a way, it's like my favorite thing ever. His writing, the depth of his writing is my favorite. But I have to say, whenever I hear someone be like, "Hey, remember that guy in Dead House Gates who like walked in front of their carriage and was like eating an apple?" Yeah, that guy is the guy we see now, right? Like those connections are amazing, and it will make it awesome for a reread. But for someone who is just trying to do their first read and not go to those resources, man, it can be a little infuriating. Um, because I don't keep all those things really very focused. So it's tricky for me. But I'm gonna do chapter 13. I'm not gonna do a full thing, but I do have the book here. I'm not gonna read through stuff, I don't think, but I just want to get some of my thoughts just so we can keep going with this. We have Gruntle with they're making their way through this warren. There was extra note that there wasn't a gate at Hood's realm, which makes it kind of seem like it's just wide open to go in or out. We have this countless. It's a countless host of undead or the dead who are an army of the dead, and I'm just super excited about that and finding out what's going on with it. I was super into Hood from book 3 just as a concept, and we're just getting more and more of that, but it seems like there's this open flow going on. We have Precious Thimble, who did her like a lot of these people have like a rite of passage sort of thing. They're coming of age. And so she like left her body, sort of, and like wandered around. And there are these Jula and Ambi, and they're arguing. There are these former model regulars. Um, won't go into their stuff. It was kind of funny though. But yeah, this Precious Thimble is kind of interesting, but she's kind of a name on a page for me still. We have Who do we have? Faint. There's this message here. Back in one, this is Sweetest Sufferance saying this. Back in One Eye Cat, when I was a child, I was taken to the dawn of flies. You know, those ceremonies from the Temple of Hood where they paint themselves in honey. In some places, cut and faint, they use blood. Really, and it mentions below that honey is just used in place for blood, but really, when someone can die with his blood drying out on the skin, that's when Hood cherishes those kinds of warriors, and those are the ones he like brings in. And so there's a battle coming. There's a major battle coming, and it's going to have the dead being involved in this somehow. We have Mappo, who is he's working with this person, Master Quell, waiting for Master Quell to finish his muttered incantation against pain. And he's like, these guys are taking on all this burden of mine, and this guy is for what? For coin? He just can't imagine why people would do that. And even says, the only real value in this world, friendship, gifts of love, compassion. When everything is taken away, that's when people realize that's what's important. And he kind of wants to just leave them behind and take on his burden, not keep the burden on them. But they're going, no refunds. Also interesting that it's like they are going through everywhere they go. It's like they are going there. It's like they're bursting through these different realms, not necessarily using the sanctioned pathways. And it's like they're not cauterizing the holes behind them. So it's like making maybe more of these issues, which People are not happy about it, sounds like. Anyway, they are about to leave Hood's realm and go into Male's realm. So I am excited about that. Okay, moving on. We have Gruntle having this dream where he like goes. I guess that puts the soul in Soul Taken, where he kind of becomes, kind of what Talk was doing a little bit. He was like having this vision of being the wolf, and now he's this tiger guy in the dream, and there's these half human guys who are kind of mongoloid types that, or maybe I'm just, but they have kind of summoned him in to protect him, and there's this leopard, and it's very, very interesting. I'm not going to go into all that because I've already forgotten some of the details, but it was very cool. And there is this, when he goes into this mode, it's like he is having to put off that side of him in a way, or lean into it in some ways, but who knows? Who knows? It was very cool. She does mention that she was from this other place, New Morn, which was maybe a city before, we have Morn, which was that shattered place in Memories of Ice, where Talk showed up, and she's from New Morn, which might actually be Old Morn. Who knows? But it's like, a city that maybe existed before the coming of Hood. Okay, they make mention of riding of souls. Anyway, very, very, very cool. We get back into Dragnapur. Ditch can't go any longer, and he's kind of pulled up. Draconis shows up and pulls him up to the top here, and he meets somebody who's blind. Oh yes, and he sees like a dragon being chained and a dragon's head and stuff. He meets the person he meets Animander Rake's brother-in-law, I believe, and his brother-in-law has been doing. He's also on here. Tried to kill Animander. Same with Absalara or whatever her name. The one that is hiding between the cracks. She tried to kill him. They're both there. But this one guy is making like these patterns with the bodies. If you looked from over top, you'd see it, and very, very interesting. There were some cool things here. He mentions, well, you must, if you would have known a way out. He's saying this to Draconis. If you would have known a way out, you would have been out already. He's like, well, that's logical to think that. He's like, well, are you a logical man? He's like, no, not really. So he's just buying his time, it sounds like. We see that even as the chaos is showing up, even it sounds like there are cracks within this realm, where even maybe Draconis, without someone, or even Dragnapur, maybe if someone breaks the sword, it would release everyone, but maybe chaos itself just, it's messing with its stability by its very nature, and maybe that will do it. Who knows? Let me skip ahead, but what did I write there? Yeah, the storm is getting closer. Apsalara was going to stab Animander, then she got slashed. She is just trying to remember her childhood. She's been there for a long, long time. Let's see. We have Gaz's spouse. What was his name? Her name. This doesn't matter, but she's still doing that thing, and she's like thinking about how nice it would be to slash Gaz's throat. Thordy, that's her name. We have some stuff with Kroot and Rallick, and their... Oh, wait, no. We have this thing with Kruppa, and everyone's sort of freaked out. Like, this Assassin's Guild just got their butts kicked. yes, they killed a couple bridge burners, but man, they like took them all out. So they're thinking, well, what is in Darujistan that's even more frightening than these guys? Um, which is wild. Sounds like this Thordy is going to kill Gaz potentially, just waiting for her time. Um, and she just likes these stones because they don't think of murdering her. Gaz only murders all these other people because he wants to kill her so much, or something like that. We have this "Bring Out Your Dead" cart going on. We have Iskarl Pust being super annoying during this meeting between um, what's the high priestess's name? Sortical, and Lady Envy is there with her Segula, and they didn't even get to their meeting because Iskarl Pust was talking about all this other stuff. Tells Lady Envy that Spite is around. Um, Iskarl, there's this hulking guy that gets in front of Iskarl's face, and like Iskarl, like squeezes and yanks back and forth and tugs and twists, and the brute just falls over. It's like I didn't expect that. Let's see. Fisher Keltath seems like, even though he's a poet, he's got some grit to him. We're waiting to see what happens with that guy. Cutter and Chalice, like Chalice is wanting to have this little affair, and Cutter, of all people, who loved Chalice or was infatuated with her, is probably a better name. Um, Now it's like we don't want her anywhere near this girl. She is bad news right now. He has done more growing up than she has, it sounds like. But I mean, she's in a crap situation too. But so maybe that's not fair to say. But he doesn't want to be a part of this, and she's like, come meet me over here. We'll just talk. It's this special place, and he's like, there's no way that she just wants me to talk. So that's crappy. Solara and Duiker eventually saw all the aftermath of this carnage, and again, Duiker's like, man, I missed it again. I missed it again. Not like he wants to die, but he's like, I'd like to be there for people to help. Um, there's just such a weight on all these people. But it's very interesting that Solara is coming to terms with it. Like, sadness is not a defect. It is a part of life. It's not something that is excised away, or it's got its rightful place. It's a condition of being that sometimes people go in. So I thought that was very, very cool. Barathol and Char just devastated. They're devastated that they just met these bridge burners, these people that they like. They just stumbled upon them, and then some of them have died. Like, they're already losing friends in this place too. How sad, when it seemed like things were going to be good. At least they thought, probably. Picker, Antsy, and Juan, red-eyed, shoulders slumped. They have the weight on them. Bard has this blood-spattered shirt. He was just talking with Lady Envy. I'm not really sure about what. But the poet has claws indeed. I liked that. They find this barrel that Antsy kicks, and there's like an old body in there. One of the old ones. Which is like, okay. And then Kruppa has one of these things where he talks about, he kind of breaks down some of the stuff that's going on with Torvald Nom, with Harlow, which, man, he apologizes to Bainisk, which, yeah, because he got whipped. Harlow got brutally whipped, and so did Bainisk. He got whipped because he was under his watch. And Bainisk knows about the bones, and now Harlow feels no ripples reach out from the outside world. Instead, he felt alone, and that almost makes me want to cry for little Harlow. Last thing here, we have the Talani Mask, the Talani Mask, who now has legs, and he has walked out. And he walked out. He's kind of freaky the way he walks out, and it sounds like he's I don't know how to take this, but he's like kind of gloating in his mind about how he's the last one standing to Raced. Kind of gloating that, Raced put him there, saying he's gonna be forgotten and everything. Now he's got his a sword back, and he's on his legs, and also saying with the tyrant gone, someone close then awaited an empty, somewhere close then waited an empty throne, waiting for Devad Anan Tol, who had once been crippled but was crippled no longer. And it ends here. The gods are fools. This is him thinking this. Alas, in believing every piece in the game is unknown. That the rules are fixed and accepted by all. That every wager is counted and marked, exposed and glittering on the table. The gods lay out the perfect path to the perfect thrones, each one representing perfect power. The gods are fools never because it never occurs to them. Not everyone uses paths. Just like the Trigal Trade Guild, they make their own paths, and now he's going to make his own path. This guy, which I wasn't totally sure about the tone I'm supposed to have about this guy. He's very interesting, but I hope he helps out Harlow before he just walks off. I hope this guy wasn't just a menace himself as well. I still don't really know how to take him, but I guess we'll see. I did like him with Harlow, but seemed like he's walking out, and his first thought is about revenge or something, or outdoing Race. He just has that in him. So anyway, I'm just gonna leave that there. Okay. And already still longer than I thought it was going to be, but now I can get that I can get to chapter 14. Bye.